I see you.
I see you.
And I see your shirt because
My tropical shirt.
from a long distance from the spirit tree.
This shirt
Let's
was
put our
probably
hair-
made a long distance from anything natural.
Let's put our
yes.
hair together and connect to Awa.
You get soft.
I don't have much hair.
No.
Yeah, it's not
Not
working.
hiding a rat tail back there.
Yeah, no.
I'm wearing the tropical clothing.
Yes, I'm wearing a red drum tackle shop shirt. Because that's the typical attire of the Navi.
I thought you were gonna say the oppressors, but
Okay. Yeah. Oh, of the humans. Yeah. Yeah. All the Marines saying "Oorah!" We're wearing red drum tackle shirts.
Navi are over here. They're Hawaiian.
They're Hawaiian. Yeah, it really has Hawaiian vibes.
Hi. We have
watched
Avatar:
yep.
The Way of Water.
Avatar: The Way of the Box Office.
This movie, and I'm gonna click over here
Yep.
and not mess with our
and
audio.
we're not
going
to stop the recording that like we did last time.
And now we have background footage.
Literal.
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
see you. I
I
hear myself.
I hear you.
I need to stop. Anyway, yeah, we went and saw Avatar: The Way of Water.
The watery ways.
The watery ways. In more ways than one. I don't actually know.
We only saw it in 2 ways because we did not watch the 3D version. So keep that in mind for any details of the podcast. I don't know why I said it like that, but we did, and we're here to offer our spoiler-free.
Yeah, no spoilers for this. We actually want everybody to go see this movie before we start just blabbering on about it for about an hour. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but that's a good thing because that'll keep you watching. But yeah, on December 16th, which has already happened because it's almost Christmas. This is actually the 22nd
And
of
so
December.
this is not Christmas, but close.
It's almost Christmas.
What have you done?
Yes. I see you. I'm gonna interrupt you like that
every time
every 3 sentences. Yeah.
But no, I will say
with my demon hand.
demon.
Anyway,
this is a Navi hand. It's yes. Anyways, it was pretty good. How did you feel?
You know, when you get done with the movie, I guess I'll go ahead and give my initial impressions of it.
Yes,
it is one of the most seamless and most smooth looking entirely CGI, except for the people who are actually human in the movie. It's one of the most, because there's like a few humans. There's actually not many humans in this movie really at all, but man, it's one of the most seamless looking movies, and you don't really think about how good it looks until if you go back and watch some like scenes from the old one. I actually did that. Watch some scenes from the old movie in 2009, and I feel like really a couple things have been done here for this movie. The technology's caught up. You won't see any better looking water or water physics in a movie. This movie looks so real that you're not thinking about how real it looks when you're watching it. I wasn't actively thinking, wow, this actually looks like real water. Which in behind the scenes, like they did use some real water, but I was never thinking like, wow, this looks so good when I was watching it. I was watching it as if it was happening before my very eyes.
absolutely.
That seems like a huge exaggeration, but it's that smooth. It's that seamless. The technology's definitely caught up. They made a new camera to film this thing. And I think you can see how much work's been put in to make this movie look like something that's actually happening. And it's, again, like, it's hard to even describe it, but man, it was a very enjoyable theater experience. I'm still not like wowed by the story. But the visual experience of it, you don't really think about how good it was until you're done watching it. Like that night, I was just thinking like, wow, okay, all of these things look realistic when I was going back and watching it.
I think that's a good segue as well into my thoughts, where when you watch the movie, I will say the first like 15 minutes, I was thinking about the CGI. There's 2 caveats to that, however. One, we're in the Avatar 1 land. in not Avatar 2 land. We're still in the forest.
Which is not Kansas anymore.
No, it's not.
Not in Kansas anymore.
Not in Kansas anymore, boys. Anyways, the that's in the first 15 minutes. Don't worry. But
and also the first 15 minutes of the
first movie.
one. Yeah. I'm glad they kept that after 13 years.
Right.
Anyway,
but
I saw him.
I quickly, however, as soon as my brain like made the jump, it was very seamless, like you said. I don't think if you're expecting to come into Avatar 2 to have that same feeling of grandeur and awe that we had the first time we watched Avatar in a theater and all that, I don't think you're gonna get that. But I don't think that's Avatar 2's fault.
No, it's I completely agree with that, and I don't think that's Avatar's 2.
I did that too.
Avatar's 2. I don't think that is Avatar 2's purpose. I don't think, because what this felt like to me was very familiar. So nothing's really changed with our main characters. Jake Sully still sounds like this, and he still talks to his boys, and his boys are like, "I'm sorry, sir," and like, it's still like he hasn't changed as a character. He's still the same dude, just living his life as a Na'vi after the end of Avatar 2009. What this felt like, and even in the marketing and advertisement for this movie, was Return to Pandora. Kind of feels like an old friend you haven't seen in a while. You had a great experience when you were with that old friend back in the day, and you get to see them again, and it's like, it's familiar. There's definitely a lot of familiarity with this movie, but it's also, there's some new stuff you get to see. You get to discover sides of this old friend, per se, that you never seen before.
And I think that's perfect as well, because when we were retreading ground was when I was most bored. When we were in Avatar 1's places, all that. But as soon as we get into the water part of things, when we move...
You saw it. Sorry.
That'll
show up on the...
yeah, sure.
That little...
But yes, once we hit the water sections of the movie is, I feel like, when things really started to take off.
True.
And I think that goes not only both for the visual side of things, where there were some really gorgeous shots, I think it also goes, like, we had the establishing of the opening act, and it's a slow burn for sure, but it definitely builds as it goes on. I will say, even though the story did not blow me away or anything, I did feel much more impacted by it.
Yeah.
Avatar 1 felt very tried and true story beats and all of that. It worked well and all of those good things. However, the second one, I feel like, did a much better job of focusing on not just focusing on its characters, but growing these characters over the course of one movie.
Yeah.
There's all these, and again, this is pretty obvious stuff from the trailers. There's all these family members now in Sully's family, and they all, with one exception that would get spoilery, that I felt like went a little trite, even though it was a well done story beat. I feel like each character was well developed. Each character had their own personality.
Even the antagonists, as well.
They did a good job of bringing more, a little bit more than the one-noteness of a lot of like, honestly, what Avatar 1's good old Colonel.
Yeah, he's a colonel.
He's a colonel.
He's a colonel, like the corn.
Yes,
like the Sanders.
I feel like he, and again, we see him in trailers already. He gets a lot more depth added to him. I feel like,
yeah.
And I feel like all the different characters just had much more compelling motivations and reasons for doing things beyond save the planet and kill the planet. It was a lot
Pocahontas
more
in space.
Right. It was a lot more personal. It wasn't just the planet. It was the family. It was all about the family.
I think you said the word, I mean, you may have used the word impactful before, and I definitely felt like this was definitely, for me at least, Avatar 1, that's like, to me, that is your perfect, like, you got 2.5 to 3 hours to sit on a couch, whip out your phone, play a game, it's on TV, it's a Saturday afternoon, who cares? This movie, I was much more like, now I wasn't like, like,
right.
I wasn't like, I see you. No, it was more like, I see you, Avatar 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep working that in there, by the way.
That's okay.
Yeah, thank you. But I was definitely felt more in tune. and it was definitely more personal. Not to me, of course. I mean, I'm not
Blue.
dabba dee dabba die, but it's so stupid.
I see blue.
Blue is the color. Anyway.
James Cameron looked at the
I see people blue.
James Cameron. Blue. He looked at the title screen of Avatar and said, "I see two."
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah.
But yeah, back to what you were saying.
Yeah. It was easier for me at least to pay more attention to this story because I could kind of see where it was going, but they did a good job of like, it was a very, again, once they got past that first like, hey, remember where we were in 2009?
That's really what it was.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Which, okay, it's been a while, so I can understand why they put it in there. But once it got going, once they got to the Metcaina clan, I think I said that right. I'm so sorry.
Honestly, that's the motion for everything now.
Yeah.
There's stuff on your shirt.
Yeah. Hey, Grandma, I love the souffle. But once it kind of got past that stuff, like, it was really easy to follow, and I never got bored. I must say, during the movie, like, it was always paced very well. I was like, I could see where it was going, but it kept me entertained and engaged. And I mean, is that not the goal of every blockbuster that comes out, right? That's 3 hours long, especially.
The only thing I would say for
cough.
people that are looking for people that are looking for these like pure action flick whatever's, Avatar 2 is not that.
Hoorah.
Just so you do know. It has, don't get me wrong, has a lot of action sequences and very that kind of orientated things, but it takes its time as well.
Yeah.
This is not a 3.5 hour violence fest. This is not and it's not like different kinds of violence. It's a lot of it almost felt, even though we're always engaging with like people and all of that, a lot of the shots were almost very nature film in style, I feel like, or like a documentary in style, as they're doing these actual story dialogues and beats and all of that. Just the camera work felt very much like it was actually just showing you this world, and then it did some cool stuff as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
they have a couple of
like, look at that. Yeah,
even the trailer shows this beautiful upside down shot underwater that absolutely floored me in the theater. I'm not gonna lie. So they do a lot of stuff like that, but I just really appreciated how it felt like I was just being where the first Avatar introduced me to this vibrant planet. Way of Water immersed me literally.
Ooh, that's
and
good.
Submerged me
Ooh.
into the world.
And fantastic. I'm just kidding.
Hallelujah! I see you, Lord.
Tone that down on the seismograph behind me. Yeah, that was good. Good.
Thank you.
So yeah, and no, as funny as that was for you to say that, I completely agree. You know, they had me submerged and dunked and drowned in the story. All the negative for water.
We were starting good, and then it just got worse.
Yeah, it did get worse. You know what else got worse, man? James, I want to talk to you for a second, buddy. You have made some of the most memorable films in the world, even films that I'm not a big fan of, like Titanic. I don't give a crap about Titanic. You've made a lot of money in the film industry. This movie, I know, cost you a lot of money. There are free websites called defont.com, for instance, where you can download really cool fonts to use in your end credits sequence, because my gosh, all I heard when the end credits came up was just because it was super, super flat. And I gotta say, you have all of this. Sorry, there's people catching fire right now. Sorry.
Mr. Cameron, I want you to know I respect your font choice.
I think it was kind of boring, Mr. Cameron. I'm not going to lie. I feel like after all of this film, like, and then it was just like Calibri, and I was like, cool. Well, that's
I thought you had wonderful fonts, Mr. Cameron.
yeah. I'm glad you.
I saw your fonts. Please respond.
I saw the fonts you didn't use, like Papyrus here. You could have used that in your in-credit sequence.
It's a good font.
Yeah, it is a good font. You know what else is a good font?
What?
Anything that doesn't look like frickin' Calibri or Helvetica or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
I think they got done with the film and they had focused so much on everything else. They were like,
well, they just typed it up.
we don't have end credits, and so like the intern threw it into PowerPoint and typed up something real
Hey,
quick.
I'm fine if that's the trade it takes. I'm fine.
Hey,
with
that's
that.
a cool PowerPoint though. You
It
know
was
what I'm
either the credits in the font you wanted or another year. So
saying? That's true. Yeah, I'll take the other
we'll
year.
take the credit. Oh man, but no, seriously, I think that overall, I think if I had to kind of sum up my thoughts on everything here, Avatar 2 really did what a good sequel should do, and it takes what we were introduced to the first time and brings you into that world and expands upon what's happening there, as well as a brief thing I touched on. It does point towards the future. Cameron is definitely moving to a world where he is making more Avatar films actively, and you can see it because there were unresolved threads that when you watch for yourself you will see. They're not so unresolved that it felt like the movie was lacking. They, however, were just being introduced during
The movie itself did not depend on those threads.
Correct.
Those threads are for, you can tell, and this was one thing that I said about this film to start. I was like, man, everything I'm seeing from the trailer, this is not going to floor me the first time I see it like the first Avatar did. We're coming back to this world. We've already seen Avatar. It's going to show us new stuff that looks really good because the technology's caught up and they put a lot of work into it. But the story here has got to be better. That's one thing. If this movie, James Cameron has stated that to be profitable, right, which you don't always want to talk about profits, but to be profitable, this movie needs to make probably about $2 billion just because of how expensive it's been to make and everything that's gone into it over the past 13 years, because he has been planning these movies for that long.
Yes.
So the story has got to be better, because stories like Avatar 1's like weakness is the story. It's pretty basic, it's forgettable, but the visuals keep you sucked in every single second. This has the story that is on par with the visuals, and that's how, you know, like we were able to stay engaged in the film so long, is because the story was enticing. It was, and I think it was more impactful than the past stories have been, and you can tell that he is really building on a bigger story than that this has introduced us to.
Right.
And I can't wait to see what he has planned for that. And I think the stories are just going to keep getting better as we get more Avatar sequels over the next 25 years.
And I think what we'll see is, even like, you could argue each individual story might not stack up, but it's more how fleshed out and real the story felt, where again Avatar 1 felt very planetary in its kind of in its stakes, whereas by turning down the stakes it felt much more worth investing in. So even if the beats weren't any more like complicated, or if you felt, I didn't feel like anything came out of left field for me, I still, however, felt much more connected. And I think that's a really important thing for us to see as the franchise kind of grows now into an actual franchise.
Connected like with the spirit tree.
Yes.
That's my tail. You see it?
I do.
You see it?
Yeah.
That's nice, isn't it?
Am I the tree?
Yeah, you're the tree.
Anyway.
I don't know what just happened.
That's the noise it makes when you connect to the tree.
Yeah. They have a ADR guy come in the back and go, all right, John, can we take that from the top? I need you to get throatier on that.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Any final thoughts, Jordan?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Very. No final thoughts. Exciting film. Looks really good. It's a fun ride in theaters. And I think it's gonna continue to do really well. And you should definitely go see it. What about you, Joseph?
My final thoughts? I see you. you should like, subscribe,
We
and
see
comment,
you.
and ring the bell, and follow us on. We're on things.
We are. Well, okay.
It's
Drugs.
Don't do them. But no, I think I about wrapped up everything I had to say.
Yeah.
Y'all are amazing. This is fun, kind of going for a shorter
For
take.
sure. Yeah.
And for sure, for shores that are near oceans.
Yes.
That water is
that
in.
water is in oceans.
Yes. All 11 of, wait, that's the wrong franchise.
I just got that. That was good.
We'll see y'all next time.
Brad Pitt's jumping through a window. Goodbye. Hey, you caught that because you're a musician.
I picked it back up.
Talent.
Thank you.